Good morning. I want to thank you, Oz, for having me back this morning, and Marlene, thank you for the kind introduction. One of the reasons that I was excited to come to Hartford to serve as superintendent is because of companies like Travelers. The richness of partnerships with the business community is just outstanding. We like to talk about standards quite a bit in education, and Travelers has truly set the standard for what quality partnerships look like in the business community. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about me? Many of you are involved in our schools, and I thank you for that. Having visited every single one of our schools last year, and I'm starting my second rounds, I have personally witnessed the amazing work that you do in our schools. Thank you so much. And today I'm here to share with you my plan for the Hartford Public Schools, cultivating equity and excellence. And there is room for involvement at every level. As I walk through the plan, please give some thought to how you might be part of the plan. And I have some ideas that I can share with you. Hartford Public Schools is in the business of creating leaders that will transform their world. That's our vision. And that's the role I see our district playing in making Hartford, the region, and our state competitive. The average age of Hartford's population compared to the rest of the state is on average 10 years younger. Demographically, that is significant because that means that Hartford is and will continue to be a critical supplier of talent for many years to come. And as such, we must start to truly think differently about how we do our work to ensure that our students not only graduate from high school in greater numbers, but they also have the skills that they need to be successful in college, work, and life. And that's what cultivating equity and excellence is all about. So we use a tree to symbolize rebirth and renewal. It's a new day in the Hartford Public Schools, and we're moving forward boldly on behalf of our students. Here's our vision. We are your talent pipeline. Our students will transform their world. In order to do that, each and every day, it is our responsibility to prepare students to create their own success, not only in school, but beyond. And it's that student ownership that you'll see throughout this plan. And action. Here's how we believe we're going to get it done. We've layered our theory of action with our core values about how we achieve equity. Starts with high expectations. We need to engage our students differently. We need to make sure we reach each and every student and we pay attention to each and every school. People ask me, Superintendent, how do you close the achievement gap? I say, there's no way around it. You have to go student by student. So we're making a commitment to each and every student in Hartford. Then you got to take care of the adults. Adults have to practice differently. We need to expand their capacity so that we can get more equitable outcomes for our students. The question that guided the development of this plan was, what will it take? What will it take so that every student thrives and every school is high performing? So this is where we're going. How will we get there? So here's the how, right? How we're watering our tree, our strategies. Now you all know, and many of you were part of the development of this plan, and you guided us and you said, guys, you have to focus. Focus is so critical for improvement. So we landed on 2 key strategies. We're placing our bets. We're putting our money on 2 big strategies to achieve our bold vision. Leadership. Develop leaders to lead for learning. You cannot have a great school without a great principal. And no school has ever turned around without great leadership. We are investing in our leaders. Education is a people business, and we need to invest in our leaders at all levels. This doesn't only mean principals, though. We have great leaders in our teacher ranks. We have great parent leaders. And we have great leaders with you in the audience, our partners in the business world, higher ed, and our great community-based organizations. We're committed to helping our leaders to grow so that we can better serve our students. Second strategy, our students. How do we make sure that they are at the center of all that we do, ensuring that students are engaged, that they own their learning, and that they have a sense of agency and self-efficacy to be the change agents that we need them to be as the future of this city, the state, our country, and the world. Let me give you some more specific examples of what we mean by putting students at the center of their learning. We're committed to making sure that every student has a personalized plan starting in 6th grade that helps them to envision their future and to map out the goals that they need to meet to get there. Their academic path, their social and emotional goals. So you will see again throughout this plan a personalization of kids' experience with us. Literacy and language. This isn't your traditional reading, writing, arithmetic, right? You all tell us you need people who can communicate well, who can collaborate with others, who can think critically, and who can solve problems. So we're raising the bar on what literacy and language acquisition means in our classrooms. And by the way, we are blessed with having many English language learners in Hartford. 16% of our student population of nearly 22,000 kids are English language learners. We think that is a gift, and you should too. So many bilingual children who will be adults who can work in your companies and navigate because of their language and their cultural skills. And so we want to honor and build on that gift and make sure that our classrooms are language rich. And then customized experiences. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some of those customized experiences in a minute. But first, we're committed to building that strong literacy foundation by a key strategy in action. So I'm going to show you what some of these strategies are looking like in our school district. So we've had as a goal in the school system for a while, reading proficiently at 3rd grade. We didn't have a curriculum, K2. So this is some of the work that we've done to make sure that our kids can achieve that powerful goal of reading on grade level at 3rd grade. So we've rolled out a brand new K2 literacy curriculum to help our kids get there. Let's talk about those customized experiences. And this is where many of you have been so critical to our success. We have a school called the Academy of Engineering and Green Technology. And they have the most amazing advisory board made up of people like you, members of the business community. CBIA is a strong partner, Dale Walker. I want to give a shout out to her and her leadership. She's a daily presence in that school. Because of that partnership and the advisory board, they've created an opportunity for students in that school to build solar-powered wind turbines that are sent to Nepal to power birthing centers and schools. Now, last year, because of the earthquake, they couldn't transport the solar panels and the wind turbines by truck, so they had to use yaks. And it led to a new expression, it's yakable. But this is an example of the powerful opportunities for our kids that are only possible because of what you bring to the table. Really cool and powerful stuff. Let's talk about leadership and how we're working to grow our leaders across the system. One of the major shifts in our work has been moving from a system where our schools are constantly competing with one another to collaboration. We have great stuff going on across the system. We never had time to talk about it and to learn from each other. So we have built in opportunities for strong school support networks so leaders can learn from one another and learn from all those great things going on across the school. You see us calling out family and community partnerships as one of the ways that we're building leadership across the community. And then disciplined use of data and teams. Nobody does this work alone. You have to leverage the power of teams in order to achieve what we hope is possible for all of our students. But I want to tell you about a powerful school support network that we've put in place as another example of a strategy in action. Hartford, sadly, is still a tale of two school systems. We have some of the highest performing schools anywhere. One of our schools, Breakthrough Magnet School, was the best magnet school in America last year. Our Academy of Engineering and Green Technology that I just referred to with its Yakable won a U.S. Green Ribbon, nationally recognized schools. And then we have some schools that continue to be among the lowest performing in the state. And when I did my entry work last year, one of the greatest themes that came up over and over again, almost no matter who I spoke with, was the urgency to improve our neighborhood schools. We really have a separate and unequal system now. And we had to do something about that. And we are doing something about that. And so I took my senior leadership team on some tours of schools, and not just tours of schools. We went out there and we talked with the principal and the leadership team and had deep conversations about their school improvement efforts and about what we were doing or not doing at central office. We asked them, what are we doing that gets in your way? What are the barriers that we need to remove so that we can help accelerate student progress in your schools? So from listening to our schools and our school leaders, and then reaching out to some of the best practice and best research in turnaround work, we learned really from our neighbor in Massachusetts. They have a robust turnaround strategy, and they were able to look after 3 years of implementing their strategy. What was the difference between schools that were successful in accelerating progress and those that were still kind of stuck and didn't make progress? And so from the lessons learned from our own schools and successful schools next door, we built out an acceleration agenda that is a system of supports for these schools that we just didn't have in place before. And it is support at the leadership level. Again, can't turn around a school without a great leader, but we need to support them. We have asked them to do a tremendous job with an incredibly heavy lift, and they need the central office behind them to do that work. So we've built in additional support at that leadership level, at that teacher team level, and the team matters, so that teachers are collaborating and learning from one another, but on instruction that is targeted to each student. And then last, support at that individual student level, because I'm kind of a teaching and learning girl. And as much as I would just like to focus on that classroom, our students are coming to school with such tremendous needs that if we didn't attend to the support and enrichment that they need outside of the classroom, they just could not be present for learning inside the classroom. So we've built into this acceleration agenda a way to craft an individual plan of support and enrichment for every single child in our cohort of 6 acceleration agenda schools. brand new turnaround strategy. Really proud of that work. My team last year, unfortunately, we had kind of a facilities emergency that's been widely publicized in one of our schools. And, when we had to deal with that, my team got together and we were meeting twice a day. And then, once we stabilized it, they were meeting weekly. And I was like, guys, you're doing really good problem solving here. This is good work. What if we treated teaching and learning this way? What if we started to treat teaching and learning like an emergency? And I tell you now, with this acceleration agenda, we are treating teaching and learning like an emergency in the Hartford Public Schools. I want to talk to you a little bit more about putting students at the center of their learning, because I think you're going to find yourself in the plan through thinking about ways that you can connect with our amazing students. So yes, we're looking to rapidly accelerate the achievement of our students. At the same time, we're going to keep innovating. And so we've created 3 high school centers of innovation that pair neighborhood and magnet schools, again, so they're learning from each other. And we're trying to reimagine teaching and learning. We're thinking about how we use time differently, the expertise of a teacher, buildings, right, and other resources. And so we have 3 centers of innovation. The first builds on a great blended learning pilot. We're thinking differently about technology. Technology is here to stay. And how our kids access that information and use it well is critical to their education right now. So we're building out models of blended learning, and that enables us to use a teacher in a smarter way, right? If kids can do some of that work and they watch a lecture at home and then they can come in, that frees up a teacher to provide individual support to kids. So really thinking how we use resources such as technology and a teacher's expertise differently. Secondly, we're rethinking seat time. And we're thinking about mastery rather than just sitting, like we all did, right? 180 days, 7 periods, 45 minutes a period, right? And then you got your grade and okay, thank you very much. Now we're saying, wait a second, let's really lay out what our kids need to know and be able to do. Some kids might achieve it at a faster pace. Some might need more time. So our second center of innovation is exploring mastery-based learning. The third has a lot of possibility for you in this audience. We are going deep on project-based learning, and part of that is building on the amazing internship work we have done in partnership with Capital Workforce Partners, with the City of Hartford, with the Metro Hartford Alliance, and with CBIA. Students and the students who have had the internship experience always tell the story way better than I could. So I want to tell you one of our students' stories and her experience with an internship opportunity she had through this program. This is Amber Lee Delgado. She is a proud graduate of the Hartford Public Schools of High School Inc. And I am proud to say she's a freshman now at UConn. So we asked Amber Lee, tell us about your internship experience. And she said, I'm a Hartford kid. And I'd look downtown at those tall, shiny buildings, and I couldn't imagine myself being in one of those buildings until I had my internship experience. And then not only was I in the building, I was successful. I contributed to that business. And then she said, I went off to UConn, and I was talking with one of my professors. And, I was telling her, I had these internship experiences, and the professor says, in high school, you had internship opportunities? She said, wow, you really stand out. And Amber Lee said, me? A Hartford kid? I stand out in college. So I hope that you will give other Amber Lees the same kind of opportunity to realize not only can they go into the big shiny buildings, but they can contribute. And people fall in love with our students, and the internships aren't just giving them photocopies. They'll do real work for you. You'll see how smart and talented our students are. But I think Amberly's story is so powerful, and we know you can help many of our other students stand out and be successful through these opportunities. So I've walked you through our vision, where we're going, how we'll get there, leadership, putting students at the center. I know you all in the business, your business community. How are you going to measure success? Right? How will you know you've gotten there? So we're kind of going for it with some bold equity indicators. And we want to make sure that in 5 years, all of our students are accepted into college. Now, I know what some of you are thinking because some people have said it to me. You know, Superintendent, not all of your students are going to go to college. Now, see, you're probably right. But our students deserve the choice and the option, and we are not going to make that choice for them. And some of you have heard me say this before, but then I get a little, I don't know, kind of cheeky about it. And I say, you know what? If you grew up in the suburbs, this expectation of college is in the air you breathe. Our kids in the city deserve nothing less. And then we've mapped out, how are you going to get there, right? That's a big goal. So we've mapped out what your career with us as a student has to look like to get there. So we've named out some critical academic milestones that are gatekeepers, that are big predictors of on-time high school graduation, 3rd grade reading, 9th grade algebra. We've named indicators that tell us if kids feel like they belong in school and are cared about. So attendance, reducing suspensions. We had great results last year. We had 6,000 out-of-school suspensions when I came here. I was appalled. Right? We reduced it by 1,000 last year and have some work to do. But in its system, where nearly 90% of our kids are Black or brown, I have told my staff we are not going to criminalize our children. It's a real equity indicator for me. And then making sure that every kid has that personalized success plan and connection to a caring adult. Again, this is where you might fit in. Kids who beat the odds often point to that one adult who cared about them, that pushed them, that advocated for them. So just want to close out and say that our new strategic plan calls out explicit strategies and equity indicators that we will work towards and achieve. And my vision is that in 5 years, we will come together to celebrate the fact that 100% of our young people have been accepted into college, that 5 years from now, we have dramatically reduced achievement gaps and variability of performance. Making that vision a reality is the work of equity warriors. If our schools are able to do this, we will be able to supply you with a strong and capable workforce. No one person can do it alone. And yes, there are many barriers that get in the way. But I am proud to have every single one of you as partners in this journey. Thank you.